The nominees for Family Game of the Year are Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes 2.0 Edition, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, Little Big Planet 3, Project Spark, Skylanders Trap Team,
All right, and the winner is in this envelope, if I can get it open. It's really sealed. Hang on a second here. Trying not to destroy it for the people who are getting the envelope. I destroyed your envelope, whoever you are. I'm sorry. And the winner is Little Big Planet 3.
All right.
Hey everybody, my name is John from the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. With me today is Ned and Sean from Sumo Digital.
Hi. Hello.
And yeah, first of all, congratulations on your D.I.C.E award win. How does it feel for you and the team about the win?
Oh, how cool is that? No, it was brilliant. It was a shame we weren't there to actually pick it up ourselves, but it's a real honour, isn't it? It's brilliant. I mean, they don't come much bigger than a D.I.C.E award, so it's a really important one for us.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it was great fun to make the game, and we're really pleased that people love playing it as much as we love making it.
Very cool. And speaking of making the game, what was one of your favorite accomplishments about developing the game in general?
Well, the new playable characters were great fun to develop. It was cool to see how their new abilities would complement Sackboy's and add a new dynamic to the way that people play the game. A personal favourite feature of mine is a bit of a niche feature, which was the interactive live stream chip that we added to Create Mode, which basically allows creators to design experiences specifically for streaming over services like Twitch and so on. And they can create levels which respond to commands from the audience. So we created like this demo level, which was like a 4-player versus level, where the audience could vote on what happened next. So they could vote and they could make the world flood, or they could go to, like, spin the world on its head, or they could double the speed of the characters and stuff like that. And I think it's a very niche feature, but it was really fun to sort of work on that and think of the possibilities for it.
Awesome.
My favourite bit, without a doubt, was recording some of the dialogue with Hugh Laurie, who played Newton, who voiced Newton. I've been a House fan for years and years and years. So to be in the same room as him and to find he's such a nice guy, it was brilliant. That was a fantastic 2 or 3 days. That was really good.
That's awesome.
I was a bit starstruck, I've got to say.
I guess in terms of maybe Easter eggs, is there anything that people haven't found yet in the game, or anything interesting?
It's not so much an Easter egg, but something that players may not have discovered is if you ace the final boss, so you finish the final boss without losing a life, then you earn a sticker of a chicken. And if you take that sticker into the intro level and place it at a certain point, then you'll unlock Smooth McGroove's a cappella version of the original Gardens theme from LBP1. And that's pretty cool. So
That's awesome. I guess in general, too, can you speak about what's next for you and your team, or what plans you might have?
Well, we're now the guardians of the LBP franchise, so anything that's happening LBP-wise is now going to be going through us. And there is a wide variety of undisclosed different products being talked about at the moment.
How was it working with Sony? I know that you guys work with a variety of different partners. With Sony, was it a different experience, or how was your feelings on that?
Well, we've known the guys at XDev in Liverpool in the UK for a long time now. We've done 2 or 3 different projects with them, and we're quite old friends. So it was really good fun. They know the franchise so well, and particularly Pete Smith and Tom O'Connor, the guys who sort of like are in charge of the LBP stuff. they were so supportive, and they had our backs right the way through like the 3 years of development. They were brilliant. They were brilliant with us. So yeah, no, it was all good. It was all good, clean fun.
Awesome. Is there anything this year in 2015 that you're looking forward to in the gaming industry, whether it's a game or a gaming trend?
In terms of specific games, I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to play No Man's Sky. I don't know if we'll see it this year or not, but
You're such a Sony boy.
Yeah, and similarly, really looking forward to the new Metal Gear and possibly some LittlebigPlanet DLC. That might be quite fun to play too. So yeah.
I'm more multi-platform than he is, and sadly, I start looking forward to Christmas around about the time of Easter, because I know there's another Assassin's Creed coming out. I'm quite a dyed-in-the-wool Assassin's Creed fan, and it might not be the most interesting game to say I'm excited about, but I know that I'm going to love it, and I can't wait.
Very cool. So we have some fan questions. So here we go. From Kirito on Google+, he asks, how did you come up with the idea for the other SAC people?
So actually, they started off as NPCs. The ex-design director and I, Damien Hosen and I, worked on the story for a long time throughout the development of 3, and it changed shape a lot of times. But they started off as non-playable characters. So Toggle started off as a moss troll who had been asleep for hundreds of years and woke up really needing the bathroom badly, and he'd burst through and take and as he was running, all of the crypts that he was born in were pouring down around you. The Swoop started off as 3 albatross, 3 seabirds called Albert and Ross. Albert Ross. In this sort of like very much Alice in Wonderland style sort of sequence we had at one point. Who else? How else did they start off? Oddsock started off as a rideable wolf cub who was going to be part of the story. But as we started prototyping these, we realised they would be much more fun to be playable rather than non-playable, and that came hand in hand really with chats with Sony, who said that it would be a really good addition to the franchise if we expanded them out and put the extra effort in to make them playable as well, because it would broaden the scope of what LBP is all about. It changes everything really, and so we were happy to do that, and so they became sort of stars of their own, and that was really good. It's good to see them more often than you would have seen them if they were NPCs.
And go ahead. Were you going to say anything else? Or?
Oh, just that when we decided to make them playable characters, we really wanted to focus on their physical interactions with the world, because sort of those physical interactions are at the heart of what LittlebigPlanet gameplay is, and so we set about looking at prototyping different ways that these characters could complement Sackboy in their interactions. And Toggle's like quite a good case in point. So he's got this weight changing ability where 1 minute he's a big lumbering oaf, and then suddenly he presses a button and he's sort of like a sprightly little guy that dashes everywhere and can leap further and so on and so forth. So you can, like, little Toggle can run on water, but then when you change to big Toggle, you'll suddenly plunge to the bottom of a pool, and then if you toggle back, you'll suddenly get propelled back upwards, and it's stuff like that that gave us some really nice dynamics and additions to the sort of traditional LBP gameplay.
It made it gave a lot of the levels a real identity to themselves, but also it became a real headache when we tried to combine them all, because the powers of the different characters can sort of counteract each other. It makes level design quite a task when you're trying to incorporate all of the characters. But it was good fun.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Going along that line, Tiffany Marie Kempa on Facebook asks, what inspired you in terms of different? Is there any games or media that inspired you? And for me as well, like, did your company culture influence anything in the game as well?
Well, yeah, I'm a big fan of finding cultural references outside of games, and so for the story and the characters, a lot of it was based. I spend a lot of my time in rural England and in a little village there where my family is, and some of the characters in the village just really make me laugh, and they've got such obvious characters and personalities that they crept in. A lot of my life crept into the characters in the game. Also literature as well. There's some Great Expectations in there by Charles Dickens. There's a lot of Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of Yellow Submarine by the Beatles in there as well. And all of these things, I mean, my whiteboard started off at the beginning of development thinking, what are the things that we can bring together? And that was everything from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts to Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band via Monty Python and Dostoevsky. Everything was brought in at once. So I think there's a lot of really wide-reaching influence in there that you can't necessarily see in the final game, but that's how these characters came about from the initial notion that spawned them. Would you say we're
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of depth there.
There's more depth there than it appears, definitely.
Very cool. How long, sorry, before I go there, Sonata Dusk on Google Plus asked, how long and when did you start making Little Big Planet 3?
It was in development for basically 3 years.
Yeah.
I think. But only on the PS4 for the last year of that. So that changed quite a bit of the way we were going to do things. But yeah, 3 solid years, trying different things out, getting our heads around the franchise, getting our heads around the tool set, getting to know Media Molecule, what their intention was in the first place, how we could extend that, be faithful to their initial inspiration, but sort of like pull it in our own direction as well. So we tried lots of different things. We went through several different art styles. We prototyped lots and lots of levels that were never used in the end game. The story went through loads of different iterations. It took different lots of different stances. Sometimes it started off with a big message about corporate life and the struggle for the underdog, and it ended up with something completely different to that. So those 3 years were really well used years, but it did take a full 3 years to get to where we got.
Did the jump from the PS3 to the PS4 affect development much, or was it a pretty easy jump for you guys?
It was cool to be working on a new platform. Obviously, there's a lot more power with the PS4, so that meant we could ramp up some of the graphical effects and so on. It was also cool to take advantage of the share features. So, like, one of the things we looked at was what we could do with like the video footage that you can capture with the share button, and we added a feature where creators can now create a trailer for their levels, and then publish that along with their level, and then people can view that on the community site or in the game. And that was really good for promoting content and adding something extra for the community. So that was good.
Awesome. A couple more questions. Tycro Rogers on Google Plus asks, how did it feel being given the baton from Media Molecule and the other teams? I know you addressed it a little bit, but is there anything else you wanted to add?
Well, yeah, it was really scary. It was a huge honour, but it was a very intimidating honour because they're such a successful studio. They did such a good job with LBP, and coming completely left of field, something that no one was expecting. It holds so many surprises, and it's such a creative product that they're huge, huge, huge boots to fill, taking on something like that. I mean, as Sumo, we're very used to taking on existing franchises and building upon them, but LBP was more ambitious than anything else we'd ever done, and so yeah, it was scary, but a huge honour, and I don't think we'd have been able to do it without the support of the guys at Sony and Media Molecule, but especially the guys at Sony who are very, very supportive and would push us to make sure that we're making the most of the position that we're in. It was good. We've got a lot of respect for Media Molecule. They were hugely supportive, really helpful when we needed it, and their feedback throughout the process was invaluable, really.
Awesome. Our last question comes from Zuki TK on Twitter. They ask, Little Big Planet had a long tradition of additional functionality via DLC. Any hint on tools that might come to Little Big Planet 3?
So there's nothing that I can officially announce today. However, we intend to continue that long tradition. So rest assured, there's some really exciting new tools on the way. There'll be new DLC, and we think people are really going to enjoy it.
There's a lot of content that we're working on at the moment, and fans will see that come to fruition over the next few months. And
Very cool. My last question to both of you is any shout-outs or anyone you would like to thank, throughout the project or just in your life?
There were so many people that were involved with this beyond us. There really were a lot of little satellite teams working on different aspects of things. I mean, one is obviously Sony Media Molecule. Another one is Tarzia, who helped us out quite a bit on some of the artwork. Trying to name everyone would be an impossibility. But is there anyone else particularly you'd pull out?
The community, to be honest, it's the Little Big Planet community. They're so dedicated. They're so passionate about the game, and they're the ones that make the game what it is. So yeah, just a massive thank you to them. Really.
Yeah, and a continuing thank you as they continue to support us.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your time, and again, congratulations to you and your team.
No, thanks for your time, and thanks for the award. It's a real honour.
Yeah,
definitely. Alrighty, until next time.